We're concerned. You know, it's a very dynamic time. You've got, I don't think a lot of people remember because we weren't impacted last year, but last year was the fourth most active season on record. I think there were 20 named storms, 7 hurricanes, 3 majors, and again, we were fortunate that nothing came our way. But this is a trend that we've been seeing for the past several years of just more storms, and then the dynamic part as well is equally concerning is rapidly intensifying storms, not a lot of notice. I would say short notice storms. And so our planning has to adapt to that. And I feel like that's the position we're in right now and what we're doing. We've got several exercises coming up. We have a state exercise in about 2 weeks. We had the final planning meeting for that this morning. That's going to focus heavily on the interaction between the state and the local governments and parishes, on how we communicate with each other during hurricanes, how resources are allocated, how those resources are requested, which is so important. In addition, we'll be doing a local exercise here focusing on the city-assisted evacuation. I think evacuation is always the best course of action for the city and for our residents, but I do think that our planning is shifting as well and kind of moving into different directions. One of our plans that we're working on, and we have been working on since Ida, is the idea of refuge and sheltering, even if we have to do that through a storm, which is something that is not something we've had to focus on in the past or that we've focused on in the past. We've focused very heavily on evacuation. What we're seeing with the timeline is that we need to be better prepared in the event that, particularly for our vulnerable populations, our seniors, those with medical conditions, those that just absolutely have no other way out, even in a limited amount of time, that we have the ability to possibly refuge or shelter them in a facility to get through the storm and then deal with the aftermath. In December, we had an emergency resource center exercise. We had over 100 volunteers and participants come out and assist us at a recreation center. It was at Milne Recreation Center this year. We had NORD, we had RTA, we had a lot of our partners, of course our public safety partners, police, fire, and EMS, assisting us with those types of post-storm activities where what can we do to get water, food, resources out to the community, even if it's just charging a device, even if it's giving somebody internet access so that they can contact loved ones and that they can start to restart and recover from the storm. And those are the things that we're really focusing on. The city has purchased several Starlink units through an agreement with Starlink or SpaceX and the state of Louisiana. We tested one of those out to great effect during Mardi Gras. That's a time where there's a lot of congestion with traditional cell. We were able to actually utilize that through our city network. Seamless communication. It is everything that it's been talked about, Starlink. I think that with the 7 units we have and the 3 more units we're going to get, we've got the ability to dole those out to our city departments, essential departments, critical departments like the police department, and allow them to stay connected. So technology is changing with us, and we need to really consider that in our planning and preparation. And what I would say to every New Orleanian right now is, this forecast is early, but it's of pretty high confidence, and it's in keeping with what we've seen over the past several years. So I think people really need to start planning now. The way they can do that is to have a plan. Create your personal plan, start it now, gather supplies. And when I say gather supplies, I mean have supplies ready if you have to shelter in place for a lower level storm, or if you have to create a go bag, if you have to leave town with your family. That's clothing, prescriptions, food and water, those types of things that you really need to take care of. One of the things, and I think that I want to add to gathering supplies, get the insurance checkup. We know what insurance is like right now in this area, in our community, the challenges that we have. Now is the time to make sure that you're adequately insured and ready to go for hurricane season. I would also say that protecting your home in any way possible, whether it's needed upgrades that you've been kind of maybe putting off, any of these programs that will be coming out about, fortified roofs and other things, take advantage of those programs if you can to make sure you're trying to protect your property as best as possible. And then I think the most important part, the part that the mayor gave me from day one of this administration 6 years ago, is staying connected. Give the people the opportunity to get as much information as they can, readily available. And that's what we've attempted to do through NOLA Ready. Our website is ready.nola.gov. It goes into far greater detail than I can describe to you today about what we can do. It allows you to sign up for alerts. If you have a vulnerable member of your community, of your family, or a neighbor, check on your neighbors. Get them to register for NOLA Ready, for the Functional Needs Registry, to make sure that we are able to know who you are, and in the event that we do have to do something very quick because of a rapidly intensifying storm, that we're able to reach out to you. If you want to sign up for alerts immediately, text NOLA Ready to 77295. We've recently, and again in the technology strain of things, we've recently added 3 more weather stations to our network of 20, so we now have 23 weather stations around the city that are available to the public to view at any time. You can find that at weatherwise.nola.gov. I think that that's a great resource, not only for kind of planning your day every day, but looking at weather trends, looking at the way things are going. They have air quality monitors on them. We saw that last year with the marsh fires. These things give us the opportunity to give the public the information they need. There's also an entire section on WeatherWise that talks about weather education. You know, inform yourself about hurricanes, inform yourself about the climatology in the state of Louisiana and in the city of New Orleans, and you can do that at that website. I think that some of the other things we're doing in order to prepare for hurricane season is we're increasing our warehouse potential. We're moving on creating a centralized public safety warehouse in the city. There'll be details on that probably in a few weeks, but we've already started ordering massive amounts of supplies, 2,000 cots, bringing our total up to 3,000 cots, primarily for public safety, obviously if they have to ride out the storm, but we can also shift those commodities to be used for the public if necessary. We've ordered tens of thousands of meals. We've ordered hundreds of thousands of bottles of water. We want to try to put our best foot forward in order to be ready in case something happens where maybe not everybody can get out. And I think that that's the message that I want to say today. We can't control the weather. We can't control a hurricane forecast that does seem to be very, very extreme this year. But what we can do is we can plan for it, and we can determine our fate with our planning, our preparation, and our recovery from these events.